Welcome to our video tutorial on creating lessons within the Right Path Student Success System. Although Right Reason Technologies provides you with many standards-aligned lessons to meet the needs of your students, sometimes you may wish to either customize a lesson or create your own lesson. In this tutorial, we will discuss how to accomplish these aspects of lesson creation easily and effectively. At Right Reason Technologies, we believe that you know your students better than anyone else, and therefore, you should have the ability to modify the lessons that they receive as you see fit. In some cases, you may want to customize an existing lesson to make it better suit your needs. Let's take a look at how to do just that. Once you have arrived at a lesson, either through the lesson library search or through a curriculum, you have the ability to preview the lesson to see if it meets your needs. You do this by clicking on the View Results button and choosing one of the options below. If after previewing you decide that you would like to make some changes to the lesson, you need to make a copy of that lesson. To do so, you simply click on the Copy Library Item button in the top right-hand corner. Once you do so, you will be prompted to put in a name of your new lesson, as well as choose who the owner is. If you choose Myself as the owner, you will be the only person who has the ability to edit your lesson. If you choose District, anyone in your district has the ability to make changes to the lesson that you are currently creating. Once you have filled in these things, all you need to do is scroll down and hit Copy. Once the window refreshes, you will now see the brand new copy of your lesson. At this point, you have the ability to make any changes that you would like to this lesson. Now that we have learned how to make a copy of an existing lesson, let's take some time to review the lesson components that you have the ability to change in your lesson. The lesson components that you have the ability to change are organized into tabs at the top of the lesson. First, you have the Overview tab. The Overview tab contains overall information about the lesson as a whole, including the seat time, the grade level, and the lesson objective, in addition to other items. If you would like to change any of this information, you have the ability to do so by modifying any of the options below and then hitting the Save button. Next, we have the Contents tab, which contains the instructional pieces of the lesson. Once again, you have the ability to modify any of the items that are included in this lesson component. In addition to selecting specific items to either copy or delete, you do have the ability to edit the contents of any of the items listed here. You simply click on the name of the item to open up more information about that item. Once the item loads, you are presented with a rich text editor that allows you to make any changes that you would like to this item. Once you have made any changes that you would like to the item, all you need to do is scroll down and hit Save at the bottom. Once it reloads, it will tell you that your changes have been saved. At this point, you can continue making changes to this item, jump to another item within the lesson, or click Return to Lesson to return to the Lesson Overview tab. The Resources tab allows you to attach resource files to the lesson that are either viewable by the student or only by the teacher. Some examples of resources that can be added to the lesson include answer keys, templates for projects, accommodations, or files that you would like the students to read. Files that are added for students will be able to be accessed when the students view the lesson by a drop-down menu at the top of their screen. To add a resource to a lesson, all you need to do is click on the drop-down menu next to the Add New Item button and select which type of resource you would like to add. You can add a student resource, which the students will be able to view when they go into the lesson, or you can add an accommodation resource or add a teacher resource, which is able to be viewed only by the teacher. Once you have selected which type of resource you would like to add, you will be able to select the resource from your computer and provide a description of what the resource is. Once you have done this, you hit the Save button, and you will see that once the page reloads, your resource is now attached to this lesson. To delete a resource, all you need to do is click on the checkbox next to the resource you would like to delete and click Delete Selected. The Standards tab allows you to see standards that are currently attached to a lesson, as well as make changes to either add or delete standards as you wish. Standards that are currently attached to a lesson can be seen on the right-hand side of the page. If you would like to delete a standard that is currently attached to the lesson, All you need to do is click on the red X next to the standard and it will be removed. In order to add an additional standard to the lesson, you can filter down through the standards tree on the left-hand side of the page. Once you have found the standard that you would like to attach, all you need to do is click on that item, then click on the arrow, and it will move that standard over to the attached standards for this lesson. Once you are finished, all you need to do is scroll down and click on Save. This will now save the standards that you added or deleted in the lesson. Now that we have taken a look at how to customize existing lessons, let's dive in deeper to learn how to develop new lessons from scratch. In order to begin creating your own lessons, your first step is to navigate to the lesson library. You can do so by either clicking the button called Lesson Library on the home page, or navigating over the Lessons tab and clicking on Lesson Library Search. Your next step once the page loads is to navigate to the top right-hand corner. Here you will see a button that says Add Lesson. If you click on the drop-down menu next to this button, you will see a number of options that you have in order to create your own lesson. In terms of adding lessons, there are 3 options for you to choose. The first option is called Add Lesson. If you choose this option, you are able to add a lesson that has no placeholders that are pre-populated for you. Your next option is called Add Template Lesson. If you choose this option, you have the ability to add a lesson that has pre-populated placeholders that follow Right Reason Technology's lesson template. Your last option for adding a lesson is called Add Intervention Lesson. If you choose this option, you will add a lesson that contains placeholders which follow the format of our RTI lessons. No matter which type of lesson you choose, always remember that any of the lessons that you add this way are completely customizable to meet your needs. For example, if there is a part of an intervention lesson that you would like to delete, you have the ability to do so. For the purpose of this video, we are going to choose Add Template Lesson. Once you click on this option, you are prompted to give your new lesson a name. Your next step is to choose whether you would like the owner to be myself or district. Once you have filled in this information, all you need to do is hit Create. Once the page refreshes, you will see that you have successfully added a template lesson. Now, I would like to take some time to review the placeholders that you will see within a template lesson. The introduction allows the students to see the objective for the lesson, as well as relevancy pieces that act as an attention grabber for the beginning of the lesson. Prior knowledge questions allow students to show whether they have mastered a building block skill that is necessary for mastering this new lesson. The vocabulary section introduces students to important words and terms that they will encounter within the lesson. It also acts as a reference. The learning component is the main instructional piece of the lesson. Think of this piece as what you would say and do to teach your students if you were in the classroom. Guided practice questions allow the students to practice the skills that they have just learned. In addition, the students will receive feedback that lets them know if they were correct or incorrect and why. Independent practice questions are similar to guided practice questions, except students do not receive feedback and must answer the questions on their own. Extended response questions contain writing pieces for the lesson, or the opportunity for the student to explain how he or she got an answer. Test-ready questions are practice questions from the state assessment. These questions are helpful in exposing the students to the type of questions that they might see at the end of the year. The lab piece is included for science lessons that might include a lab. Finally, the reflection allows the students to write about what they have learned in the lesson. This piece is also powerful for teachers to see whether or not the student may need some additional help, or if the student has become confused with a certain part of the lesson. Now that we have discussed the pieces of a template lesson, let's put the pieces together to see how to create your own lesson. When you are in a part of the lesson, you have many different options using the rich text editor seen here. In addition to standard word processing features such as bold, underline, and italics, you have the ability to add images, tables, equations, multimedia, and more. In order to add an image to your lesson, you will click on the Image Manager icon. Once you do this, the Image Manager will load. Now, you can choose the folder where you would like to upload your image, and then click the Upload button. Your next step is to select where the image is located on your computer, hit Open, and then Upload, and you will see that the image will be populated in this folder. To add this image into your lesson, all you need to do is click the Insert button. To add a table to your lesson, you need to click on the Insert Table button. Next, hover over the boxes below to create a table that is the size that you would like. Once you are happy with your selection, you can click your mouse and the table will appear. Please note that the dashed lines that surround the table will not be viewable to the student when they view the lesson. To add solid lines to your table, you will need to right-click on the table and choose Table Properties. Once the window loads, you will choose CE Simple Table Black Border from the drop-down. In order to insert an equation into your lesson, you will click on the Insert an Equation icon. Once you do so, the equation editor will load. Once the equation editor has fully loaded, you have numerous options in order to add a variety of equations to your lesson. In order to do so, you will click on the icons underneath the tabs in the equation editor, fill in your numbers, scroll down, and click Save. You will then see that what you entered into the equation editor has been inserted into your lesson. The remaining pieces of the rich text editor that I would like to discuss are fairly straightforward. If you would like to add a symbol to your lesson, you will click on the Insert Symbol icon and choose the symbol that you would like to add. In order to add multimedia to your lesson, including audio and video, you will click on the Media Manager icon. You will then follow similar steps as you did to add in an image into your lesson. Finally, the last option I would like to show you is Spell Check. If you click on the Spell Check icon, the spell check will run throughout whatever you have entered into your lesson. The last piece that I would like to show you is how to add feedback to a guided practice question. In order to do so, you will click on the Guided Practice tab at the top of the question. This will provide you with spaces to add feedback for both correct and incorrect responses. Once you have entered the feedback, you will hit Save. This feedback will then be seen by the student when they complete the guided practice question and click Check Answer. Lastly, I would like to leave you with some tips for lesson creation. First, remember to save frequently. You are putting in a lot of work in order to customize lessons or to create your own lessons, so you don't want to lose any of your work. Do not be afraid to have multiple learning components. Chunking learning components instead of having one big long list will make it more appealing to the students and more engaging for them as they go through the lesson. Think of an online lesson as a lesson plan that includes everything you would say in your lesson. And lastly, let your creativity shine. There are many options that you can do within a lesson in order to make it more engaging for your students and more fun for you to create as well. Thank you for taking the time to view our video tutorial on creating lessons within the Right Path Student Success System. If you have any questions about lesson creation or would like additional information, please contact Right Reason Technologies using the phone number you see here. Thank you.